Greetings and welcome everyone to this news update. I am the Ninjaneer and the topics for today are as follows. Aptera's February update, Aptera Owners Club reaction to said update, Ford has access to superchargers, Aptera's battery pack breakdown, and finally M3P Battery pack. Let's go ahead and get started. Aptera's February update was an exciting one. The topics included their app for vehicle owners specifically, which included all sorts of fun goodies like how much energy you're producing with your panels, ways to open your hatch and your doors, ways to roll down your windows and other controls of that sort, climate controls, and what appears to be a profile of some sort up here in the top. They also talked about different aspects of the solar charging, specifically like you can see your solar generation, your gain, and how many miles you've gained since you parked, your battery percentage trends, and all sorts of other fun information that you would want to know in your solar-powered vehicle. Close-up shots of their battery revealed several bits that I thought were interesting, and one aspect that I will talk about later in this video goes against what some other YouTubers' opinions are, which I will get to later. Close-up shots of their BMS showed even more hardware that appears sturdy and well soldered with a nice thick circuit board and a promise for a full breakdown later on. They covered production updates, revealing that CPC is sending their first 3 production intent bodies sooner rather than later, and revealed they will be using robots to assemble their vehicles when full-scale production begins, with a promise to show the body off at JEC World in 2024. So if you are in the France type area, today through Friday, it looks like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry, Tuesday through Thursday 2024, you will be able to check out the Aptera body close up. If you so happen to be close and get shots of the seams and connections and bonding compounds of the bank, please post them somewhere because I would be more than thrilled to talk about those things in next week's update. Also, if you just happen to want to send me some footage, I am not going to fight that. I will give you credit, and that will go in my next week's update. They showed crash simulation data for their body in carbon for the, it looks like the metal components. These are aluminum components for the body structure. These things have a malleability that I will say that most other materials don't have, specifically those that are carbon fiber and such like that. Carbon fiber will bend, but once it is bent beyond a certain point, it tends to snap. Most car alloys tend to be the type to bend way further, and some cases they even can fold in half. It's crazy. Anyway, they have this structure, I'm assuming, to increase the ability of the vehicle to absorb impact, and you can see that here in this crash test data. The energy is being transferred down and away from the cabin, which is exactly what you want to see. In both sets of crash test data, you can see that the impact is taken by the outer edges and around the cockpit, taken around and dissipated throughout the vehicle instead of into the cabin where people are. That is a fantastic bit of good news. So I would like to see those see those crash tests and see how that goes, because yeah, if the simulation data is any indicator, this is going to be one of the safest vehicles on the road, bar none. Alright, speaking of videos this week, Aptera Owners Club put out their thoughts on the presentation that Aptera shared. He mentioned that the video wouldn't be a standalone video, and as he promised, there were a couple other videos that were put out as well. I believe the total for the breakdown for this February update was 3 videos from Aptera Owners Club. He mentioned that, he also said something about the battery pack that I disagreed with, but I will talk about that later on in this video when I do my battery pack breakdown. As of the 29th of February 2024, Ford has officially announced compatibility with the Supercharger Network and sent its customers a free adapter to use while with existing CCS charger ports on the Lightning and the Mach-E line of vehicles. Theoretically, they will include the NACS port on all 2025 and later models. Several folks have taken advantage of the news to make YouTube videos showing the ease of use, which brings me to a side note about this story. If you are familiar with a channel called Transport Evolve, they are a fantastic source for EV news as well. During a trip to make a video about the above story, they had an accident and totaled their Lightning. For what it's worth, my prayers go out to them during this trying time, and I look forward to their next video as always. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into the battery pack breakdown. Aptera was nice enough during their presentation to grace us with close-up shots of their battery pack, and I noticed a few things that I believe a lot of other folks are also talking about or have mentioned, but a thing or two that have not been. So I'm going to go ahead and specifically get into those things in more detail, but I'm going to kind of gloss over the stuff that's already been mentioned. So let's go ahead and wait for the close-up here. Alright, so as you can see, there's this is the cooling tubes for the fluid that will be pumping through and cooling the battery. Let's see, there's the contact bars for all of the batteries, and let me see, let's go ahead and keep moving here. I believe this is the bottom of the battery, as has been mentioned by channels like Aptera Owners Club. One thing that I will say that he mentioned that I disagree with, I guess you could say, is that he believes that there's no room for a cooling channel in between the batteries specifically. This little bar kind of wraps between the two, and it looks like it may be wide enough to put a cooling channel. Now, whether or not they're going to put said cooling channel in there is another matter, but as far as I can tell with this view, there's a little bit of space. The batteries kind of have a you see the little rim of the battery. This is the lip of the battery that that runs beside the cylinder, beside the edges of the battery. So this is the end of the battery right here, and the end of the battery dips directly under the edge of this section. It does that on both sides, and so therefore there could be some space in there for a channel. I could be wrong, because I believe that it is possible that these batteries are very close together and are touching, but maybe optical illusions are telling me that it is possible for a small channel to be run through there. Now, would it be effective, or would it be necessary? I doubt it, because of power. The power draw for Aptera's vehicle is very small, but I do believe that it is possible to put a cooling channel in there. More evidence to this point. Give me a second here. I believe that they're gonna... there we go. Alright. More evidence to this point. I'm gonna go ahead and let it scroll down a little more. You see that there's little humps in here. The little hump here lines up with the battery. Little hump here. Oh, stop moving. Okay, this little hump here kind of lines up with the battery. This hump here lines up with the battery. So this is the opposing side battery. You see how it kind of lines up there, and this is the main side battery, and there's three little ridges, 1, 2, 3. That third little ridge, I believe, could be a channel for the cooling, and as you can see here, this wider spot is wider right where this little line passes through. That little line passes through right along this little seam here, and it looks like it's possible, although it may not be actually a thing that's in the vehicle, it looks like it is possible for a cooling channel to get in there. That is my logic for a potential cooling channel in between the batteries. It is also possible, in my opinion, to get away with the top side cooling that you see on this part here. Like the top cooling will... Okay, how far are we going? Yes! Oh no! Oh no, let's go back. Okay, so the top cooling here, these little hoses here we're going to pump fluid through, but this top cooling, I believe, will be sufficient, in my opinion. I don't know the thermal envelope or any testing that's been done in that regard, but I do believe this top panel could be enough. The only reason why they would need channels in between here is on like maybe a super hot day, if you decide to floor the accelerator pedal after every stop sign in the middle of the city for some reason, and then maybe the 100-degree weather and a bunch of 0 to 60 times. If you're pushing the vehicle really hard, maybe those in-between cooling channels would be an option that would be needed, but I don't think they're needed. Although I do disagree with Aptera Owners Club in the sense that I do believe there is space for a set of cooling channels between the batteries. And the way that these channels are set up, the way that these gaps are set up, it would actually cool every single battery if they decided to put those channels in. So yeah, anyway, that was the only point of contention I had. Everything else was fantastic about that video. I will be linking that one below as well. Let's see. All right, speaking of battery packs, by the way, Tesla is going to use the M3P battery pack from CATL in some of its lower trim models very soon. The pack boasts something like a 10 to 15%, depending on the article that you talk to's, increase in range compared to the current LFP battery packs due to a change in the battery chemistry that includes more manganese. This has been kind of a progression of CATL. They've been putting slowly more manganese in very specific compositions and very specific ways in the battery to increase its efficiency, not its efficiency, to increase its energy density, and so that has borne fruit in the M3P battery of a 10 to 15% increase. A direct timeline for mass production for this pack either has not been shared or I could not find it, but there are quite a few stories out there claiming that the pack is already being tested in some Model 3s. I don't believe those Model 3s are available to customers yet, but they are being tested according to many sources. Alright, so that will about do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Ninjaneer. If you'd like to like and or subscribe or do the other YouTube-y things, please do those by clicking on the links provided. If you'd like to check out other videos that I've done, please do that by clicking on the links in this video that will pop up somewhere in this area and somewhere around here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next week. Ooh, there it goes. Ford has access to superchargers. Aptera's battery pack breakdown by yours truly. M3P, not MP3. Wow. Okay, M3P battery pack and how that relates to Tesla. Alrighty, so that is the topic section for today. Let's go ahead and get started. We're just gonna redo that whole thing right there. Hello, greetings, and welcome. I am the Ninjaneer, and this is Aptera News Update. I am the Ninja. Oh my goodness! Yep, we're gonna do that again. Again. Today's gonna be a weird day, I can tell. There we go. Close-up shots of their battery revealed several bits that I thought were interesting, and one aspect that I will talk about later in this video goes against... Oh my goodness, how did I skip back up there? Wow. Okay. Let's make sure that that is gone so I can't skip back up to it. Here we go.